Call me Kofi Kinata. Move on, baby. Move. Oh, na, na, na. Abedimpo. Call me Kofi Kinata. Move on, baby. Move. Oh, na, na, na. Abedimpo. Call me Kofi Kinata. Move on, baby. Move. Oh, na, na, na. Abedimpo. Call me Kofi Kinata. Move on, baby. Move. Oh, na, na, na. Abedimpo. Call me Kofi Kinata. Move on, baby. Move. Oh, na, na, na. Abedimpo. Call me Kofi Kinata. Move on, baby. Move. Oh, na, na, na. Abedimpo. Call me Kofi Kinata. Move on, baby. Move. Oh, na, na, na. Abedimpo. Call me Kofi Kinata. Move on, baby. Move. Oh, na, na, na. Abedimpo. Call me Kofi Kinata. Move on, baby. Move. Oh, na, na, na. Abedimpo. Call me Kofi Kinata. Move on, baby. Move. Oh, na, na, na. Abedimpo. Call me Kofi Kinata. Move on, baby. Move. Oh, na, na, na. Abedimpo. Call me Kofi Kinata. Move on, baby. Move. Oh, na, na, na.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to We Need to Talk. My name is Abena Owusua. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody that is out there. I know it's not today, it's tomorrow, but we don't hold shows on Mondays, so I'm just giving it to you straightforward already. If you don't have a loved one, remember that Jesus loves you, and that's good enough. Today, I am so excited to welcome my guest. This is not their first time that we are sitting down to talk with them, but it might be your first time meeting them. But please help me to welcome our beautiful, loving couple for today, Pastor Joy and Pastor Noel. Welcome. All right. Please remember that We Need to Talk is sponsored by O&O Signature. O&O Signature sells everything African made, from clothes for ladies, for men, for kids, all ages and all sizes. Please also remember we have accessories, necklace, waist beads, purses, sandals, anything you can possibly think of. If you want to purchase something, please contact O&O Signature at 469-769-2307. Again, it's 469-769-2307. And you can also follow O&O Signature on Instagram and on Facebook at OO Signature. Please remember, if you're watching us as well, remember, if you're watching us from Facebook, you can always go on our YouTube channel and type in Owusua TV. Go on YouTube, type Owusua TV, OWUSUA. Again, it's OWUSUA. And please remember, subscribe and share the link, and also go back and watch all old episodes. I am so sure that you will learn something new. You can also follow Owusua TV on Instagram and on Facebook at Owusua TV. Welcome, Pastor and Pastor Noel and Pastor Joy. Welcome to you guys.
Yeah, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here again.
Oh, well, thank you. I know the first time that you guys came, we had a bit of technical difficulties, so our audience might not know you guys. So please tell us a little bit about yourself before we get our conversation going.
Hello, everyone. You are welcome to the show, and thank you so much, Priscilla, for having us. We don't take it for granted.
You're welcome.
Thank you for bringing us back again the second time.
You're welcome.
We appreciate you and your crew. You're doing a wonderful job. This
Thank
is
you.
modern Hollywood. God is taking you somewhere. Amen.
Amen.
So my name is Pastor Joy Osose. I am married to this wonderful husband of mine here. He is going to introduce himself to you later. And we have two beautiful kids, Love and Excel. Amen. And we brought them there at the background. So, yeah, that is who we are. We have a church here in the U.S. and also we have 3 branches in Nigeria. So God is helping us. And by profession, I am a registered nurse. So, and that's it for now.
Thank you, Pastor Joy. So on to Pastor Noel. Pastor Noel, welcome.
Thank you one more time.
You're
nice
welcome.
to see you again.
Thank you. And then would you please tell our audience a bit about you?
Oh, okay. I'm Apostle Noah Owusua. I'm married to Pastor Joy Owusua. And she has said it all. We have 2 kids right now. Maybe one more. But then
One more, meaning is there one on the way, Pastor Joy?
Working on that. So, and also we have a ministry. We pastor here in Dallas, and also pioneer ministry back in Nigeria. And that's it for now.
Well, thank you. Thank you. So for our audience, as you heard, this is Pastor Joy and Pastor Noel. They are both ministers. So today, the title or the topic for our discussion is the good loving, because of course they are men and women of God, and so of course everything that they're doing is biblical. So is definitely going to be the good kind of loving. There is no bad loving in here. So today we are going to get in depth with pastors and their loving. So my question, if you see, I have like plenty of them, 4 pages.
Okay, bring it on.
We are going to take a journey with this couple that we have here today. You know, in the celebration of Valentine's and love, we want to take that journey with them to see how they got here, how they got married, ministry work, having kids, working privately as well, and also sustaining a home. So the question goes to the 2 of you. Once I present it, I don't know who wants to be the spokesperson, but I want to kind of hear from both you guys' perspective. So Pastor Joy can share from the woman's perspective, and then Pastor Noel can share from the man's perspective as well. And I think you guys might even learn a thing or two from each other today from the questions I have. So my first question is, how did the 2 of you meet?
Okay.
Pastor Joy, ladies first.
Yes.
It's simple. We met in the church, in the kingdom, in the process of serving God, in the process of doing ministry. Okay. That's how we met. I didn't even know I was going to get married to him because we were so busy doing God's word, doing God's work back there in Africa. So that's where we met.
Okay. Pastor Noel, do you remember it any different than the way she put it?
Yeah, that's a brief version of it.
We want the in-depth version of it.
That's a brief version. I think we met sometime, we've known for like, since 2001.
Wow.
Around October 28. We've known before that, but not that close. But
okay.
We became close since 2020, October 28 actually. 28, right?
Oh, yeah.
October 28, 2001.
Wow.
But knowing was not in terms of relationship.
Okay.
We're part of, when when we graduated from high school, we have this Christian body that we formed.
Okay.
While we were in secondary school, high school, it's called secondary school in Nigeria. While we were in high school, we were very proactive with Christian work. We were members of the Young Christian Association. We attend different schools, though. So I think she too was also a member of the association in our school. So we do have inter-school meetings and all of that. So we just knew like that. But officially, we knew ourselves as at that October when we began the fellowship. 2001.
So that's what, 21 years ago?
The first meeting we had in that fellowship, she was not around anyway. She wasn't around, but she came the next meeting.
Okay.
That was when I actually started knowing her. And she happened to be the secretary of the meeting. So we just began to know. We just normal friendship. I was so concerned about the kingdom, business, and all of that. I was just doing ministry as an evangelist, preaching, just, no intention for marriage yet. It was just a young man growing up. So, but then we begin to gravitate into we're part of that fellowship, that the fellowship began to grow and all of that. So if you ask me officially when we know as in person, right?
As in when you first met.
So that would
was at that
would be
that
association. That would be the storyline. We met in
Okay.
the association that was formed back 2001.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who spotted who first? Is it Pastor Joy that was seeing you when she was waving, smiling, or you saw her and you two, you said, oh, hi, fellowship member? How did that one go?
Okay, let me handle this one myself from my own angle.
Okay.
If you're asking us on a very neutral note, who spotted who first, that one we will not be able to. I'm not able to give you. I will say. I may say I was the one.
You
she
noticed
may
her
say
first.
is the one because it was not on base of relationship. Like the reason why
Your wife said it was you.
The reason why we say the reason why we agree she was not the one that spotted me first because in our first meeting that year, October 28th. Our president did announce to us that we have the secretary, but she was not around in the meeting today.
Okay.
So there was this anticipation to meet who is this secretary that we are having, but I was not around today. So I think I was curious to know the person as a secretary. So the next meeting, I think that spotlight came. I said, okay, this is the secretary.
So when you first saw her, when she was introduced as the absentee secretary, what came to your mind? Was your anticipation, the joy you had in waiting to see who it was it fulfilled, or was it like, oh, so this lady is the one that kept us waiting?
Yeah, I wasn't disappointed because she was, we were all young, but she was much more like younger in terms of status and everything. She was, oh my God, she looked so calm and I said, okay.
This is good.
Okay. It's a young, calm, calculated somebody. I said, okay. So I was just, yeah, so that feeling of, secretary indeed.
Pastor Joy, see what I said. Today you guys are going to learn.
I'm coming. We're just getting started anyway.
Okay. All right. So after this encounter, from Pastor Noel's side, he has spotted this young, put together, good potential lady standing there being presented as a secretary. So when you guys had your personal encounter, like when you guys actually spoke to each other verbally, like, hey, hi, how long did it take before you guys dated? Actually started dating or started gravitating towards the idea of dating or being together?
You going first?
Okay, let me say my own perspective on that ground. It's funny. Our love story is is an interesting one. But from a lady perspective, I would say for the first time that I got a signal was after our ordination. We both got ordained the same day as pastors in 2008, April 6th. So after our ordination, he arranged with the seamstress, the tailor that made all our ordination suits, to make me a black suit. And I did not know that because the tailor already have my measurement and all that. I don't know if you remember.
I remember.
So he made an arrangement unknown to me, and he sent it to one of the sisters leader, Pastor Julie, to send me the suit, like in the shadow. So I said, Pastor Julie said we should give you this suit. It wasn't my birthday. It wasn't graduation. It wasn't nothing.
Wow.
So when that suit came to me, I'm like, ding, 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 ding. What is that? Like, where is that coming from? Then when I had my 20th birthday, he bought me a diary, like a planner. We call it planner. So I'm like, okay, where is all this gift coming from? But the most important one that brought a traffic light to me was the black suit that he made arrangement to send to me. And even funny enough, I didn't even get an opportunity to wear that black suit or like enough because I was scared. Like, this is not just a black suit. Even when I was about leaving Africa, that black suit was still beautiful. I turned it around, I gave it back to Pastor Julie because as I was leaving Africa, I was giving all my stuff away. I gave it back to Pastor Julie. Yes. So that black suit was something.
The first
It was
signal.
like, yes, that was the very first signal that I knew. Then he hasn't even said anything. So that was
Indirect communication going on
Yes,
there. Pastor
yes.
Noel, so why the black suits?
Wow, interestingly, I think this is going to be an interesting day.
It is. I told you.
Yeah,
We're all going to learn something.
For the past 7 years, what I've not heard, I'm hearing it now. There's a trace. There's a trace.
Even when I told
Yeah.
Pastor Ann, like
Yeah.
we were two female leaders
Okay.
in the midst of 10 pastors. So
Oh, okay.
I told her, I'm like, Pastor Noel bought suit for me. I didn't even ask him. It's not even my birthday. He's like,
Really?
you can ask.
They just stand behind your
Women
back.
things.
So he was like,
Okay.
hey, I think Pastor Noel likes it. I'm like, no, he hasn't even said anything. So why did he go and buy suit? Or am I not dressing well to church that he's buying?
Misinterpretation.
Yes, you know that kind of.
Yes.
I said, no, maybe he just want to just celebrate you.
Yeah.
I said, okay, so, but yeah.
Pastor Noel,
Yeah,
over to you. Why black suits?
You see, one of the profound philosopher of old, Fritz Sidmon, said something about the unconscious mind. Yeah, that it has a way it plays so much in our lives. So I think the thing I did that time, buying you those suits and those things, I think it was like my love in the future that was playing then, but I didn't know. But now I'm getting to know that that was what I was doing then.
So what was your main intention of making that black suit?
Naturally, I'm a giver.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm a selfless human being.
Okay.
So I was just doing it because I just love her naturally, and she looks so innocent, and I think she will need it. so I did that out of my just love.
Agape love. That's what you're saying.
There was no
This
motive
is
about
not
it.
this.
No
This is not romantic
attachment
love.
at all. It was just normal.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
And
so-
meanwhile, Pastor Juliet was over there giving the fanfare for Pastor Noel that is interest. So, Pastor Joy, after you received that and after the other gift came, the diary came for your birthday, did they make you begin to look at Pastor Noel different in a different light than you had seen him before? Or were you still just like neutral about him? It was just whatever.
Actually, for that aspect, I did not make any move. I did not even let him see any traffic ahead. So I was still going about my business.
But personally to you,
But
did it make any difference in your mind?
For a minute, it did. But at the end of the day, looking at who he was in the church, because he's a man of fire, he's a man of prayer, he's a man of passion. Like, he doesn't even have those kind of things on his radar. Looking at him like this, it's like, that one might not even marry because
He was too much for God that time.
his love for God is just too much. Forget it. So
Sorry to say, that's what it was. It was true because among all our group then that were in that fellowship, I was even the last that actually
Got
went
married.
ahead to propose.
make the move.
Yeah,
So
I was shocked that everyone was engaged. I was just the one left. I was the one aware. So,
You were behind.
because I wasn't thinking about marriage. I wasn't thinking about relationship. So please go ahead.
So another thing, based on one other whatever, how will I bring it? The spiritual aspect, because life is more spiritual than physical. So another what do you call it? Another milestone for the togetherness. I don't know if you remember. 2003, we went for a camp meeting, workers' camp meeting. Then 2003 went for a camp meeting. I wish I knew I would have written out this camp plan. So in that camp meeting, I was ministering, right? So during the ministration, the power of God was so much in the room. Like the atmosphere was like supernaturally, like mind-blowing, intense. Then I beckoned on all the pastors to start laying hands on the congregation because it was too much. So immediately he came behind me and touched me.
From behind.
From behind. It's like, I got this now. Like, actually, he said, Mama, God bless you, because that's what they used to call me, Mama J, MJ. Mama, God bless you. As he touched me, it wasn't hard for me to hand over the mic to him. I just gave you the mic, and he continued. It was crazy. It was big. The weight of the Spirit of God was so huge in that service. And it was like, at the end of the day, it was the talk of the town. Like, Pastor Joy and Pastor Noe, they took over the service. Pastor Noe came to take over the mic from Pastor Joy and stuff like that. Then it happened again, 2005. Once Sunday service, I was preaching too. I was talking about Mara, bitterness experience, and all that stuff. Then he also came and took the mic from me and continued. It was another story all put together. So then it was like...
It was dawning on you.
Yes. For me, it's like, I love God. I want to do the things of the ministry. I'm going somewhere with this kingdom. So at the side, you will need somebody that will help you manage this anointing, that will help you manage this gift and all that. But why is it that anytime I'm preaching, he's always coming around
behind you to take your mic?
To take my mic. I know that. Then his best friend, who was also our best man, started bringing that traffic light. According to the story, later behind the scene, started bringing that traffic light. Then it was now also the talk of other people, even Pastor One too. It was like, what are you people doing? Like, we can't even hear you finish preaching. Before you know, Pastor Noe will just go behind you and take the mic. So what are you guys trying to do? So it was like perfect match and all this stuff. So that is another thing that caught my attention. You know, this. Then I think spiritually we have this compatibility because, yeah, that's what I see there.
Pastor Noel, you have heard Pastor Joy's version. What's your version? So at what point did you start noticing Pastor Joy and then looking at her in a different light that, oh, so it's not just the secretary, it's not just another female pastor, but this person maybe I have to give some kind of attention to?
Yeah, all those scenarios that she did mention were part of the spotlight, actually. You know, she was a woman that I saw as someone that just loved the Lord. And so me too, I love the Lord so much. So, and she was also a good preacher. Yeah, because then we used to call her Joint Albino of our time. So she preached well, and she's calm. Each time we have meetings and all of that, she's not that type that is, you know, rousing. You know, she's calm. She's very, very. She has this calm disposition. I'm a very quiet. I'm someone that cannot that does not like to. I love a peaceful environment.
Yeah.
So if I spot in you that you are not that type of person that have that thing that has to do with peace, I can't really communicate with. I can't really connect with you. But she was having that characteristics of be peaceful, calm. She was not. You don't see her all the time among people all the time. Just talking around, or whatever. But she was so all of that were part of the spotlight. And I think, but what really gave me that, are you asking me just for the spotlight yet? Not the push yet?
I'm asking you, when did you begin to think of Pastor Joy as a potential?
Okay, when I started thinking of her was when we had this meeting. So in the meeting, we're just discussing, normal meeting, the pastors were meeting, discussing. And all of a sudden, the meeting just shifted to relationship meeting. I was like, what is going on here? So my friends, we're all together in the meeting. So this one was saying, one of the person we asked, that's why Alpha artist now. Who are you with now? I was like, what is going on here? We're supposed to be having fellowship here. So I realized that almost everyone was already looking towards one of the sisters in church, and it was just myself and one other brother that was left. That was part of the pastor. I said, okay, and and she was calm in that meeting too. Okay, she was not talking. I said, okay. That was a spotlight to me. I said, okay. So I went back and did my own research with my other brothers in the meeting. I said, okay. They said she was not yet. She's also, yeah. I said, okay. And I just love her right from time. So it wasn't hard for me to say, okay, this is the one I want to get married to.
So, Pastor Joy, whilst Pastor Noel was over there saying to his mind, it's okay, maybe this woman, from what I've seen, I would really like. What was your thought process? Did he, besides the gift that he gave you, did he ever summon the courage to just come directly to you in between those times to say, I have this kind of interest?
He did not. That is the most scary part. That's what I would tell young men tomorrow or whatever when I start having that platform. He did not. He did not say anything. He did not say he would not say any kind of word from his mouth. That's how deep
he is.
He would not, no, he would not say it.
I love you was too expensive.
He would not say that. If he tells you I love you, that means he's going to go to hell tomorrow. Yes, as at that time.
Okay.
But now
He says it all the time now.
Yes, so he wasn't that kind of a brother that will come and give you a compliment or a kind of compliment. The only time he will compliment you is when you preach, when you give, because right from time I've been a dangerous giver, or when you do something that pertains to the kingdom, that pertains to the ministry, he will not. But there was one thing that he did somehow. After we were having a sisters conference, I remember, I think it's July 7th. It was my dad's birthday. I don't remember the year now, but we were having a sisters conference. So it was an all night or something. Then he said he wanted to see me after the conference. I'm like, where is it coming from? What is it going to say? So what he actually said that night was, please, brothers or whoever, men or whatever you want to. So he said, I want you to be my mama. I don't know if you remember.
That's what Pastor
Yes,
said.
that's what I'm telling you. Like, he is so spiritual. So back in the days, or even right now, mama means the mother of the church, like the pastor's wife, the first lady, respected sister, like a leader, whatever, a leader figure that is a sister. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So this one coming to ask me, I want you to be my mama. I'm like, I don't think I ever said anything to you that day, because I was frozen. I'm looking at him like, is that what they taught you? Is that what you should say? Or whatever. So I didn't say anything. I just left. And we ended the conversation. So I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
Yeah, I think pretty much that was what happened. Because using the word "I love you" was not really that in my context as at then, because of knowledge, our level of knowledge those days. Because I grew up from the apostolic setting church.
Yeah.
So to say that's why I love is like forbidden somehow. So, but. So I somehow, actually it was that day, actually, the first day I made the attempt to talk to her about relationship. It was a night. It was at night. I could remember. It was in the church too.
It was in the church.
So.
Did you hear that?
Pastor Noah, when you were, before you went to Pastor Joy to actually say, can I be, can you state that comment again? He said, can you be his
Can you be my mama?
So
No, I like it to be, no, how did you say that?
can't remember.
I wanted to be my mama.
So before you went to talk to her,
I wanted to ask
was
you
that
what you
was that the exact thing you were thinking you were going to tell her, or was it something else?
You know that it was that first attempt is really, it was really disturbing. I had to frame the word, I had to put it, so that I think at that time that was the best word, the best way I could relate it at that time. So yeah, yeah. So like someone will say, I want you. Someone will say, I'm asking you out.
Mm.
So what they are saying is, in essence, is like, be my lover or whatever. But I say, I want you. Like I told somebody some days ago, I said, which place is the person taking you out to? If it just goes to the point and say, I love you, I want to marry you.
Okay. So Pastor Joy, when he said, "Can you be his mama?" and you went home, how did that change? Did that change your perspective of Pastor Noel? Did you begin to see him differently? Like, because before you said you had this mindset that he is so much into ministry and the things of God that you didn't even think he will marry. Now he is coming to you and he has said these words to you. So at that point, did that make any difference?
As at that time, it was honestly for me. I think I was more in a shock place.
Okay, in a good shock, or is it like
uncertain, like on an uncertain
okay
place,
type of shock?
Uncertain type of shock, and that made me to make some kind of crazy decisions at the end of the day too. So it's like this brother, you just see this person and you size this person. That is why as we begin to grow, or personally as I begin to grow, I've learned not to assume or not to think for people. Just let people be who they are, because people might come to you like this, but you can't really see through them.
Yeah.
So you cannot assume, you can't think for people, you cannot say this, you can't be judgmental for the most part. So I think because I would have been able to do more with him while while I was still in Nigeria, in terms of relationship, in terms of love. But that's another story. I didn't do much with him because I head back, looking at the kind of person that he is in ministry, with power. Like when he's preaching, you can't even look at his eyes because his eyes are red. Like he's like Jesus Mafia, period. So him coming, I'm like, no, this man will not be good for marriage. This man will not be good for this, because he's so much in God, it was so much in ministry. But I made that mistake, like even as he's good in the kingdom, he can still be good 100% in marriage. That's what most mistake that sisters make, because you just see somebody and you just size the person and put the person in a box that the person did not come with. I don't know if that makes sense. So I think it affected me 50-50, because I head back, I still didn't throw myself into the hand of friendship that he extended to me. Because, and also the way he brought it, despite this is the way he's explaining it, this is the way he's coming, but I didn't take the way he brought it to me, because that was not the kind of packaging I was expecting. That's the same thing that is going on in the church today till tomorrow, because you're expecting one kind of package, then here comes another package. So, yeah.
Just from that, Pastor Joy, would you say that, so that means that some men and women must be very open-minded to what will be presented to them?
Yes, I agree 100%, because we are not God. We are not God, and God's way are not your way. And because God's way are not your way, you must be available to embrace God's plan at any point in time. Because the packaging might be rough, but the treasure might be inside the package. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
does.
and what do you call it? The packaging might be beautiful, but it's full of trash
Yeah.
inside. So it's wisdom, and hearing the voice of God matters a lot. Of course, I was burning. I was doing things for the kingdom. I was one of the top sisters in the ministry, but that aspect of marriage, hey, it wasn't there.
Okay.
There was no mentorship or whatever. And if not for God, maybe
You would have lost your love, the love of your life. Hi, that's serious. Pastor Noel, Pastor Joy has said a lot. After you were able to sum up that courage to go to this lady, this woman of God, this secretary, this innocent one, and you told her that you expressed yourself, maybe in a way, in a manner that she wasn't expecting, and she didn't give you a response. How did that make you feel? What did you think after that?
Yeah, it wasn't much of a thinking because I expect her not to just give me an instant report. An instant answer to
Response,
say
yeah.
yes. Because if she does that, it will have given me a signal of okay, something is not too okay here. Yeah, because you need to think before you talk.
Yeah.
So I think she did her homework and going back to say, okay, I'll think about it, and then that was what I was expecting. I didn't expect her to just say yes that same day,
Okay.
and she didn't say yes that same day. But I think from that day henceforth, we became much. I think I saw that she was much more getting close to me.
Okay.
Yes, she was much more getting closer than before. She was now much more concerned about me to an extent than before. So I saw a shift after that day. That gave me a signal that she must have said, she must have agreed in her own mind. Because she became so much more concerned, so much more closer. You want to talk to me all the time. We'll close fellowship. You want to be with me. So when I'm in church, you want to know that I'm in church. When I'm not around, she's finally looking for me, asking after me. Friends they will tell me, Pastor Joe is looking for you. I said, okay, I'm just here. I'm just coming. So there was that concern. So I thought that, I think that was a good signal for me.
Pastor Joy, at that around that time, was cell phones common or was it not common yet?
yes, cell phone was common, but calling like recharge card and all that stuff. So even if you have recharge card, you want to keep it. But cell phone was common.
Yes.
Nokia 3310 or whatever. Yeah.
Just starting
It
that
just
time.
started coming out. Yes.
Okay. So how was the communication like then? After he has said this to you and you are still processing it, how was the communication? Did the frequency increase or was it just still the same? It was
Yeah, pretty much. I think you can go ahead. I think we were always seeing church.
Oh yeah.
So it wasn't
We were
hard.
church boys.
So we always see in church because we had fellowship all, so we meet almost all the time. Sometimes we have pastors all night. We have fellowship every Sundays. We have leaders meetings. So every week we were always seeing church.
and then Pastor Joy, so the times that Pastor Noel wasn't showing up, how were you feeling? Why were you looking for him?
That's funny.
Yeah.
It's it's kind of interesting. You know how the human body, how the human mind think for the most part. I was holding back because of, like I said, the packaging and all that.
Yeah.
I know my judgmental feelings and all that stuff. I was holding back, but at the same time, I'm like, hey, okay. So when I do see signs of all those preaching and all that stuff, and when he preach, most times he gives some kind of a hidden prophecies. When I mean, I call it hidden prophecies because these things are what are in my heart that I haven't told anybody, that nobody knows about it. But he would, I think I remember May 15th, there was one day he was preaching. That was a breaking point for me. Nobody knew that. That was May 15th. My dad had just bought us some wristwatch and sent it from the US. So
Okay.
back in Nigeria. So I had that wristwatch. And just recently, my dad had just mentioned that he would like to bring me and like the three of us to the US. I haven't told anybody. Nobody knew about it. I haven't even told any of the pastors. So as he was preaching, he mentioned it that God is about to take somebody out of the borders of this nation. I'm like, no, That was me. So, like, how will he know that? So immediately I took the wristwatch that my dad bought and came to put it at the seed at the altar. But after that service, it begins to bother me. Like, if this man will go so deep like this and know something about me, maybe if I give him a try, I will get to know more about him and get to know how he uses all these gifts. For me, it is more of physically, nothing was attractive, honestly. We are in church. But more spiritually, yes.
There was an attraction.
There was an attraction. So I was more connected to him in the kingdom aspect of him, spiritually, more than the physical. Because me coming from a background where Jesus has not been mentioned before, I was the first person that gave my life to Christ in the kingdom, in the house, in the family, and going through all that trials, which we won't have time to talk about today. So in my head, I'm like, hey, I think I will need somebody like this. You know, so him and the rest of the pastors, they were so fascinating when it comes to kingdom work, ministry, the things of God. Because to me, I felt I have missed out being not being born into a Christian home. So I always want to be around them. I always want to learn. I always want to ask questions and all that. So I was more drawn to him
by the spiritual
in the spiritual aspect, because to me they're like, "Ooh, Jesus, they are perfect." So yeah, spiritually yes, but physically no.
I think part of that one was because part of that physical, why there was no most physical connection should be because of the way we grew up, our church family.
Okay.
Yeah, it was not our church is very, very, liberal. Church can you just do whatever you want in church. The church we grew up from is the church of strong doctrine.
Yes.
So that I think that affected our outlook when it comes to relationship.
Okay. But Pastor Noel, she said that she was not at that point like physically being attractive to you. How was yours too? How was your experience physically, emotionally, and spiritually? Were you there with her?
I think she was more attracted to me spiritually too.
Okay.
Because I didn't really pay attention to
the physical appearance.
Because I've told my friends that I want to marry a white lady.
Yes. Pastor Joy, did you know this?
And most of my friends then, they knew that I love white, someone that is a white lady. But I wasn't moved by color, but I just wanted to marry white.
Okay.
Because I see I'm a black person, let me marry white, so I have to be
your
mixed
children
color.
balanced.
So I used to have a song that I used to sing. I call it "Give Me a White Lady," so I can have a mixed color. That was my song I composed there. But it wasn't in my mind that it must be a white person.
Okay.
Or a fair person.
Okay.
But just that I was thinking that since I'm black, we should have a mixed
color. It will balance.
You know what I mean? So that's why I said color, those things were not what attracted me, was actually the spiritual aspect.
Okay.
And what people look these days in physical terms was not really what I was looking for.
Okay.
So my friend said I love ladies that are big. I don't use the word fat, you know. At that time she was not even fat, she was very thin.
She's still thin.
Very thin. She's still very
woman.
thin now. So it was like the opposite of what I was telling my friends, what they know me to like. They say you just love fat people, you just love what. So it was not physical thing.
It wasn't a physical attraction.
It was much of the spiritual.
So Pastor Joy and Pastor Noel, for those that are watching us, because I think everybody have a perception of how men and women of God in ministry are like when it comes to the physical aspects of relationship. How would you guys, if you guys could go back in time and do it, would you have opened up a little bit for the physical attraction? Or do you think it was okay?
I think now we are now back in time doing it now. Yeah, because right now,
okay.
Right now, you
Pastor Noel, that laugh.
You don't want to play with people when it comes to physical.
I see.
So the things we didn't see, I think the reverse is not the case now.
Okay.
Years ago, we were more paying attention to the spiritual. Now we have the spiritual set too.
So now
we are firing down the physical.
Pastor Joy, do you agree?
I agree 100%.
So I think we are balanced because we start with spiritual, and now we are, we now have the spiritual balance. I mean, we have the spiritual, and now we are
working on the physical.
all the physical. So, because if you have one, you don't have the other one,
it doesn't work. Okay. Yes, now, my next question to you guys is, after you guys both got on the same page about your interest for each other, how long did you guys date before or how long did you guys court before you actually, Pastor Noah, decided to pop the original question that he was ready for marriage?
Okay, how long did we actually dated? This is interesting. I want to be very real. This is a lot of people will learn. A lot of people will learn from this. Okay. Oh, yeah. So initially, when I approached her, that first approach that I wanted to be my mama, whatever the way she said it.
My audience will never forget that.
Yeah. So, but in my mind, it was I want her to be my wife in the future, to marry. So, and we began to just, like I said, she was now more close to me. I was close to her. We were just getting attracted. So, I think unconsciously we were not in a relationship.
Okay.
I used the word unconsciously because I didn't use that formal way of saying, will you be my...
Go out with me.
But I think we unconsciously were not in a relationship. But then we had a break.
Oh.
Because there was a competition.
Hey, Pastor Joy.
Yes.
Was it a lady that became a competition? Another guy stepped in the picture. Hey, Pastor
so we
Joy.
had, and the reason why it was a competition was because this same guy was a pastor in the same ministry. And it happened to be our former president.
So, on the same level, Pastor Joy.
So, I think that's what we are going to get into now. I think it was now very tight. Because you have a president who wants her, and you have an associate.
That's how you were seeing yourself.
So it was now very intense.
Pastor Joy.
Yes, that was
the hot cake of the church.
That was where we had. That's where the battle, the conflict began.
So, Pastor Joy, at what point did this president, pastor, begin to step in the picture? And where was your mind at when he also stepped in? Were you gravitating towards his intentions? Was he more vocal than Pastor Noel?
Yeah, that I don't know. We're going to go in there. So that is the place I was trying to tell you about. I was trying to talk about. Let me use
okay.
That's the place I was trying to talk about physical attraction, packaging, dressing way, and all that stuff. Packaging. So that was where the old stuff all started from. Just like the flesh and the spirit. Yeah. Okay. So one is more attractive and the other one is not attractive. So it's like the flesh is the now. The now. Then the spirit is the future. And I still believe, God helping me, one of these days I'll be able to put everything in the book and all that stuff. So people still make that kind of mistake till now, like till tomorrow and all that stuff. So to me, I think, thank God for grace and all that stuff. God help me. So many sisters will not survive that. They will either leave Christianity or they will either go to the wrong choice or they will either make one or two bad decisions. So when it all started playing up and all that stuff, so it was more of confusion and more of pressure and more of, what will people say? So it is just, I think, that what will people say, you know how you try to please people like a people pleaser? That was who I was before. But I keyed that when I got into school, 2006, the school of midwifery, when you get to meet other women and all that. So I keyed that stuff. So I guess those things it was so many things that wanted to affect me. You know, one other thing again, when you are a sister in the ministry, single in the ministry, and you are on fire, you are doing great things, you are a dead giver, you have a loving heart, when they call for the things of God, you are number one. Even if you are going through kind of constraint, I know that you forget your constraint and you are running after the things of God, you are prone to attack in the church because it's all eyes on you. All eyes on you. So that was my story. It's like she's the best, or she's one of the best. I won't say I'm the best. She's one of the best. Let's get her. It wasn't even only that brother he's talking about that was in the picture. If we want to open that page, we had other people that were bringing their application through them because nobody can get to me except they come through the pastors. Because we had 10 pastors. We had 10 pastors that were male, but we were only 2 female pastors. So the pastors
there was high competition, right?
gathered us. So other people were even, I remember, Pastor Asalot, so other people were coming. So the pressure was there. The pressure was real. So if you're not careful, you might end up with the wrong person. So that was my story.
So how?
So Pastor Noah, you see,
you are looking at
Pastor
how
Joy, when she's giving gist, she'll be giving you head, one leg, one thigh. She doesn't give us the full gist because I still haven't figured out how that other pastor president, he entered the equation because
That's
here
why-
we are when you guys are now making
I raised
progress.
it up, so I'm going to go deeper.
Please, but I
Because-
still want her to also
Yes,
tell us
she
a
will- I think she
version
will
too.
also open up and go deeper.
Okay.
Because I think I'm waiting for a day like this. We'll still do it again. Talk about our life
Oh,
story.
yeah.
The good, the bad, the ugly. I'm a very sincere person. I will tell you about the good, the bad, the ugly. If I tell you that it has been rosy all along from the beginning, I'll be lying.
Lies.
And nobody got it all good all the time. As long as it is marriage or relationship on earth, you're going to have challenges and conflict.
Yeah.
But we're talking about how we began the relationship now. We began that way, and I had a competition, and it was my president. And we're talking about packaging. He was more packaged in terms of he has the resources. As at that time, the parents were already established. They have some things around. So it's normal for a human being to look at physical things. I thank God we are married today.
Amen.
Because not every sisters of those days or even now can be able to fulfill natural pleasure for things that are real. People are moved by what they can see.
Yeah.
What they can, they don't care about it. What they can see. There's this attraction that moves people, but the real thing may not be there. So we had that conflict. He came in and he also wanted her. I said, okay. I was told by my other pastors that this guy is showing also interest. I said, okay. But it's aware I said, okay.
He was
They
aware
both-
you just what
Yes.
was the word that
And
you
it's
just
aware I've already made an
pause.
approach.
Oh, okay.
Because aware I've made an approach, and I think by this time he was not in Nigeria again.
She
Came
was
back.
not there.
He was not in Nigeria.
Oh, he was not
He
there.
traveled one time to the UK, and I think came back, or I don't know. Yeah, came back also. He traveled and came back. That was when he now had the interest in her. Why was it with me? I was already in the picture. So he traveled and came back. He was not having interest. He's a big boy. He came, has money, all the stuff. There was a time he came to my house and told me that, Pastor Noe, he was actually giving me money so that I can leave her.
Wow.
I'm telling you the truth. Yeah, it was actually, he said he would give me some cash. He just want Pastor Joy for himself. I told myself, I'm not going to collect no money from you. Whatever going to happen to this relationship from henceforth, let it be. He came to my house. I can't forget one good morning.
So at that point, were you guys still working on your relationship, or was
No.
there a break?
When I noticed there was now a competition, he was our president, so I withdrew a little bit. So what I told my other pastor's friend was that, okay, we discussed, okay, this guy is already coming in the picture, what do we do? I told them, they were afraid, they were scared that he's going to take her from me. But me, I wasn't scared. Because I know if she's mine, she will be mine. So they told me, I was like, okay. So I said, okay, what I told my pastor friends was that right now, as it stands now, I'm going to step back and the ball is now in her court
Her court.
to decide who she wants.
That's a lot of pressure.
And I don't think you will feel bad about it. I think if there's competition, it means she's really good.
She's good. Oh yeah.
It means she's a gold. Because it's not the time you see people dragging for one thing. If you see people dragging for one thing, it means that thing is good, right?
Yeah.
So,
oh yeah.
And if you want it, you will fight for it.
Oh yeah.
So that's where I saw it.
Pastor Joy, so you said there was a break at that time, or the break was before the second pastor came into the picture.
The
When he
break
came
was
in.
When he came in.
Yes.
So when he was the reason why you guys had to break.
break, yes.
She was drawing towards him.
Pastor Joy,
when
is that
he came
true?
in.
Yes.
Because of
It
the
was-
packaging.
Not just
It
the
was
packaging,
a
but
season of confusion.
yes, that's another thing I wanted to say.
Yes.
It was not just the packaging; it was uncertainty. Uncertainty based on too many pressure. Let's just talk about it a little bit. Based on too many pressure, not just pressure from the ministry only. Like I said, when I gave my life to God, I was the only person going to church, and anytime you go to church, I come back home, I face this fight at home. So I was also not having this attention and this love and this peace at home with my parents and with my
The family,
siblings.
yeah.
Sometimes they'll make me cook and all. That's another story. Finish the cooking, they come back home. You won't be able to eat because you went to church. So it was too many conflicts going on inside. It was an internal conflict for me. So, and at the same time, you come to church, you see this one wants you, the other one wants you. It's like, and at home, nobody wants you because you are going to church. It's like, where do you belong? Who do you go to? Where do you go? Like, who are you safe with? You look at this one, it's like, you look at the other one, okay, you look at the other one, it's like, where do you go? And at the same time, you are in the ministry, you are doing the kingdom, you come, you preach, and there's power everywhere. So there is this controversy all around
you.
So I'm speaking for myself now. So that was the tight, they call it the tight corner. That was my tight corner that I was inside. And at the end of it all, looking back at this that has gone ahead of me, there was no mentorship. There was nobody to talk to.
advise
There was
you.
no upper body to talk to because we were the upper body. Like I was in the leadership. Which other person are you going to talk
Report
to?
to.
So that is why in this day and age, I so much believe in mentorship. I so much believe in talking to young ladies. I so much believe in, not even young ladies, I believe in talking to young men, helping them and all that stuff. So that was my dilemma.
So let me say something.
See,
This crisis was such that was very intense, but we had a break, like I said.
Yes.
You ask how long do we dated? That's how we got to this whole point. To be sincere about the relationship, we started and we had a break for about 2 years, maybe 1 year.
5, 6, 7, 8. We had a break for 2.5 years.
We had a break for 2.5 years because this guy came in, became an intruder to the relationship. But I know that the reason why, if you ask me now, 2 years, she wasn't showing me that
Affection.
again. Why did I wait without 2 years? But there were other sisters that were all everywhere. Okay, now we are getting very serious about this whole thing. Okay, when the guy came, the other person came to the picture. I looked at her. She wasn't happy. Each time I see her, she's not happy. There was one day I knew we were going back when I saw that she was very emotional. I bought her a gift. I think she couldn't receive the gift that day. She wasn't happy. So I knew that was not a good signal, that she is not supposed to be with that guy. Because each time I see her, she wasn't happy.
Pastor Joy.
She was only Pastor Joy I used to know.
Was it true?
Yes,
Was your joy gone?
I just answered that.
Yes.
It's confusion. It's uncertainty. It's like I said, it's a whole lot of package.
That's going
Trouble from the house, trouble for the mind, trouble in the church. It's like anytime I come into church, it's like this stigma. This sister has come. This one I want to marry her. The other one I want to marry her. The other one I want to marry her. Is she the only sister in the church? So I was now at this stage, I was now withdrawn from almost everybody.
So it wasn't that the other pastor was the cause of your unhappiness. It was everything else
It
that
was everybody,
around.
both
Let me-
him and the pastor and myself.
I think
it was everybody. You can't speak for me.
No, I'm not
in
speaking
that
for you,
aspect.
no.
So it was everything that was making me not to be happy. It's true.
Uncomfortable too.
I wasn't happy. I was now emotionally withdrawn from everybody because even when I was drawn to him, at the same time, I was still confused
About him.
because there was still no peace. Yes.
So when I'm still on that other man of God a
Yes.
little bit. So Pastor Noel, just relax because it's your wife that handled that. There was some background work that time because of the break you might have not known. And that's what I'm trying to. And I'm so sure, like she said, there are young people out there that might be in the same situation. There comes to an age for a person that you start attracting interest of other people. And then all these people present themselves to you. And like you said, sometimes some of these people don't have that mentorship. They don't have that advice, that guidance. And some of them make their long-term decision on wrong reasoning. And then, like you said, they don't even end up being able to stay in those marriages or in those relationships. So when that man of God also came, here we are in the physical realm. He's a man of God as well. I'm sure that he understood the things of Christ. And then also when we come to resources, like Pastor Noel said, he had that resources too. So in a mindset of any young woman out there, what else is a woman looking for?
Yeah.
So what was it about him that was making you so uncertain that he was not right or he wasn't good for you?
Okay, honestly speaking, I think it was rough. Like, it was his roughness.
Okay, so his attitude.
Like, his attitude. Of course, he had everything going on, but roughness in the sense that he wasn't composed. The composition, I don't know if you said that too. He wasn't composed. There is a way you will see somebody, even if the person have everything going on, you know that person is not a good administrator, is not a good manager. He was too scattered. He wasn't, he was too scattered. He was just almost everywhere, like doing this and doing that and doing that and doing that. So me being a quiet and a calm person, I can't be running everywhere with this kind of thing. So the lack of composition for me as a man, it wasn't there. Yeah, so that one was one of the signal. And I think one other day like that, it's like I was dreaming. I had a dream, or you can say it was revelation or vision or whatever. So it was like I saw myself in a clubhouse, like dancing and all that stuff. Like he was like, yeah, let's go to the club and all that stuff. I'm like, I haven't told anybody that dream before. So when I woke up from that dream, it was shocking. It was very restless to me in my heart. Because of course, even in all this chaos, I was still praying. Because that was my only anchor.
Yeah.
That was it was like at this time, it was only God that is on my side.
Yeah.
Because I can't, in this kind
There's
of
no
issue,
one to
I
go
can't
to.
talk to my mom about this kind of stuff. I can't talk to my dad, of course. I can't talk to nobody, but it was prayer. So when I had that dream, it was like, I might know this kingdom work I want to do, this
He won't
ministry
take
I
you
want to
there.
do, this thing I want to do for God, like this light I want to bring to my family. I don't think I will end well with this guy. But at the same time, like I said, I didn't see anybody to talk to. I didn't tell anybody about the dream. I didn't tell anybody about how I was feeling. So, but not until I got into school of midwifery in Nigeria and saw my instructors, my lecturers, how powerful you can be as a woman, how you can have everything under your control, and how you can still be in ministry and still be doing that. That intimidation did not fall out from me. So that's
how you
the becoming,
okay.
the involving. So that's what it is.
Pastor Joy, you have said so much, and I know that not just young women, but even older women, we face one of the things that you had mentioned earlier, trying to be a people's pleaser. And I believe even in the kingdom, like as believers and in the world that we are in today, when you are not able to have a firm mind and a firm foundation and be firm in your ways, there are always going to be other people presenting the opposite of what you believe in. And if care is not taken, you might end up on the wrong side than you intended to be. And so this conversation is so good. And when you guys came, I told you we are all going to learn. And I know some of the experiences that you guys had. Everybody always have a different vantage point, because Pastor Noah is seeing it like this, you're seeing it like this, because we don't go through the whole day trying to tell our spouse or our partners everything that we are thinking of or everything that we are feeling or everything that we are experiencing, but we just get to see what the reaction is outside physically, and we base that on that. So now you have met Pastor Noel. You know how Pastor Noel is. You guys took a break because of this other man of God, and because of his composure, you have that confidence that he's not gonna be what you need to be able to achieve what you are called to do. So now he is, and then the numerous ones that are on the background, those ones that just came to make noise, but they never got any actual attention. So at this point, when you came to realization that this other man of God is not going to work, did your mind go back to Pastor Noel that, okay, maybe I have to go back to where I started?
No, not at all. It did not. It did not cross it at all. Because at that point, he was doing more of avoidance. Avoidance. And not only that, even in the church, it was now becoming like a mockery. Even, I will not forget this. And sometimes I think about it. It used to make me cry, but I'm like, whatever. Even there was one day, two pastors were making jest of it in my very eyes. Like after service, we were cleaning and all that stuff. If I mention their name now, I'm not sure if they are watching. So two pastors were making jest of about it, and they knew it was me. They were talking about it. I saw them. I was at their front. So things like that, they were talking about it. Then every now and then they will ask him, Pastor Noel, when are you getting married? Who are you getting married? So it's just like child's play. They just make jest of it. Anytime they see me, they're talking about marriage. Then those of them that were already dating, if they see me, that's the time they want to hold on to their partners. They kind of do some kind of crazy thing. So in me, it was, for me then, honestly speaking, then, it was like a thing of shame. It was like a thing of embarrassment. It was like just continue to focus on the kingdom work, continue to focus on the ministry, and forget everything about marriage. Because at the end of the day, we did not even, it didn't work out again with that guy. So God closed that page by himself. Because most of the time, like I said, I took care of stuff in prayers because there was nobody to talk to. I was always talking to God, always praying and all that stuff. So when it did not work, all my attention about marriage left. I wasn't thinking about marriage again. My life was just, let's do ministry, let's preach, let me be that woman that will not be married, and just do ministry. Then when even to some extent, I had some kind of personal, you know how you take some kind of bad decision. I was like, when time for accountability or time for having children comes, I will adopt. If I adopt a child, my child will be bearing my middle name as their last name. That's what I said for myself, because for me, marriage was not a thing again. Don't talk to me about it, because if this is the confusion that is going to be causing, this I want it, that I want it. Anybody that come, even there was one time, no, I don't want. If you are just talking about marriage, I just walk away. I don't want to hear you say anything about marriage. So yeah, he was avoiding me, and other pastors were just making life worse for me. So it wasn't even in the picture again. So just forget about that one.
So I don't know. Yeah, I know you want to focus more on her, but
No, I want you to chip
the
in.
men will also benefit from it. I think you should also ask me how did I do within the 2 years
Yeah.
I was waiting? 2 years. When I was
Another
waiting.
thing he did too, I was thinking, I don't know if I have, I don't think I've told you. Another thing he did, so I did matriculation in Nigeria. So I was waiting to see who will come and who will not come. And at the end of the day, he did not come for the matriculation. It was only 3 or 4 pastors that came. And for me, that was like, okay, forget marriage, forget everything. So, yeah.
So, Pastor Noel, once Pastor Joy is over there battling her issues with family, ministry, and this new man of God who is just all over the place, what were you doing to keep yourself busy, and was she still in your mind?
Okay, so like I said, this is very interesting, and let me say something. I think we applaud her for. It's very challenging for a woman to have 2 men in competition just for her. So, but I thank God at the end of the day, she made the right choice. And I know I'm the right choice for her.
Amen. Pastor Joy, you agree?
Because if we look back after many years now, you can't even match that guy with myself. You cannot. And that's the truth. I'm not being proud about it. It's nowhere to be found in ministry. Lost art. What do we call backslided? And he was our president. So there are many things I don't want to say about him now. So I think she made a good choice because anyway, I don't know what would have happened if she has gone that direction. So but for that time when I was waiting, one of the reasons why I didn't decide to change my decision for her, although she said I was practicing avoidance, yes, I was. Because I was very hot. It was very hurting. And each time I see her, I see someone that I love, but I'm trying to run away for her not to see me. Actually, if I see her coming through this road, I may quickly pass down the next road. Because if I see her, something move within me. So that was why I was trying to avoid her by all means.
So that was the way that you were coping with the whole break.
Yes.
Were you the one that suggested the break after that man of God came in, or was she the one that suggested it?
It happened.
It was natural.
When it came here, I saw that it was in the picture. I just stepped back.
Started relaxing.
And so, but I knew that this was not going to work. I just knew it was not going to work. So I just knew that she was in a battle of making a lifelong decision, and she needs to go through it.
Yeah.
Like I told my friends, I said, this decision is not in my hand; it's in her hand. So I think God just trained me early enough. So I know that she was in a state of making a major decision. And the truth is that everybody has that decision to make.
Oh, yeah.
It's not going to just be all sweet.
Yeah.
Depending on the circumstances that surround you made it, making it right is what matters. So I'm saying it because of those that are listening to us. If you have competition in your relationship, you should be very careful of what you are looking for.
Yeah.
Is it character or pleasure?
Is it character or is it pleasure? So for our audience, the topic for discussion is the good loving. Yeah. And as Pastor Noel, you were saying, this good loving just doesn't happen overnight.
No.
And it's not all rosy from beginning to end. I think we are in a generation or an era where there are no rooms for mistake or no rooms for growth. We have this expectation that from A to Z, everything must be smooth. And so now for the younger people that are out there, they feel like, okay, if I'm going to go in a relationship or want to get into a marriage, there must not be any challenges whatsoever. If you mess up or if anything happens, I'm just gonna abandon and run away. We just want everything smooth. But something that might be smooth from the beginning might not guarantee that it's gonna be smooth at the very end. And so this good loving is a very important topic, and I don't think we have enough time. The conversation has been so interesting. We have been here talking for over an hour now.
Really?
Yes.
I think what makes a relationship a good and loving relationship is because it has gone through the fire. If it has not gone through the fire, it won't be good. It won't be good. Imagine the food you are cooking in your house. It will become good later. But before it become good, it must have gone through the fire. The right stuff must have gone through it. That's why I opened up to this extent that we are not today. I can tell you the truth that people admire us.
Yeah.
A lot of people see us as role model.
Oh yeah.
So if I hide it from them that we didn't go through the tough time, I'll be deceiving myself.
Yeah.
So if they are going through the tough time, if you are going through a tough time in your relationship now, but you see light in the future, stay. Because what kept me that 2 years was I saw light in her. That this is my own.
Okay.
And again, to confirm it, before the guy traveled back to the UK, he came again and told me that I'm very sorry I made a mistake for trying to come into your relationship. I know maybe he never told her. Then he traveled and abandoned her. I knew. Because we're communicating. We, the boys, the brothers, she wasn't calling. I mean, he wasn't calling, wasn't caring for her. This is a guy that said, I love you. But
But his actions were not.
instantly, the action reversed. So, that's why I said I will applaud her that she was able to go through that. We went through that together. I waited for these 2 years plus that we had a break. And I said, she is my wife. And I must wait. When she comes out from all of this, we're still going to be able to talk about it. So, to have a good loving, it's called it the
Good loving.
Good loving. It must go through the fire. If anyone tells you that it has just been all rosy from the beginning, somebody's lying. Somebody's not saying the truth. And that's the truth about it. For anything to become good, it must be tested. It must be tried. And for me and my wife, from relationship starting, we were tested. We were tried. We saw it all. So if there's anything you see in us that you are marrying today, hear from my mouth that we didn't come to this point just by daydreaming. It was work. I don't know if you're going to talk about work in relationship today.
Today our time is up, so that's what I was going to say. Next week you guys will be back because this whole month we are just talking about love.
Let's work.
We have a concept, and this month my attention. I think yesterday one of my friends said, "You have been talking about how do I get love? Who will love me? Something, Madam Love. What's going on with you?" But I want to be able to talk about love from different couples, different perspectives, for everybody to understand that what we see on TV is not what love is. And so this conversation is going to continue. So, I know we are on TV, but another extension of invitation, if next week or the week after, you guys can come, because you guys, we are in the middle of the ocean with you. We have not finished the story. We are just at the point where now Pastor Joy has eliminated obstacle number 1.
Good.
And then we want to get to how you guys were able to come back together, how you guys got together and then got married, and then after you got married, you have ministry work ahead of you, having to balance that. Then you guys started having children, and even before, when you guys got married too, Pastor Noel was back home, Pastor Joy was here. Having to be married and still waiting on your spouse, it's almost like married but single. And how you guys were able to handle that and be faithful in that. Not just being faithful to yourself, but faithful to God. Because that is also something completely different. The people get married, and just as you're saying, just as they use I love you just anyhow, that's how they take marriage anyhow. So we want to go down that lane with you guys. And so when you guys come next week, trust me, I don't forget where we ended, because that just is sweet.
We'll continue.
Pastor Joy, before we end, and because you are the lady, what is the advice that you give to the audience that are watching us today? Because if somebody doesn't watch the next one, I don't want them to miss out. After everything that you have experienced as a woman of God, as a mother, as a wife, as a woman, as a young lady, being in ministry and being where you are now, with how the whole world is like operating now, what would you tell everybody, every woman that is out there watching you in terms of life, relationship, marriage, and all that?
Thank you so much for having us.
You're
thank
welcome.
you for the next invitation.
You're welcome.
God bless you and keep on expanding your territory.
Amen.
So my advice that I would give in terms of life, starting from home, is number one, as a mother, and make your home or make your daughters, or not just your daughters, your children, just be open to them and be a place of refuge. From day one, have this relationship, this rapport with them as a mother, whereby you can be open and they can see you as somebody that they can just come in and just pour everything, their heart, everything. And they can come in and talk to you, and at the same time, they will not feel condemned or whatever. So as a mom, I would say, be there for your kids. Be there. And as they are little, try and establish this relationship where you talk. Spend time, relationship, communication is the most important thing. Then, as a sister, as a single, my concern these days is mostly for single ladies, because I feel like I've been through a lot, that when I see young ladies, my heart goes out for them, because I'm like, don't do it this way. Don't do it that way. You don't have to make that mistake, because I've been through it. So I would say, as a sister, don't keep quiet, whatever you're going through. There must be that woman in church. There must be that person in church that you can talk to. I would say, find a mentor. I so much believe in mentorship, because what meant your mentors will not meant you. That's one of my personal philosophy, because your mentors have gone through whatever they've gone through just because of you. So find somebody that you can talk to. Find somebody that you can approach. Then, as a young sister, one of the things that will help you through life, when I mean young sister, like a young woman of God, is you must have this relationship with God, with the Holy Spirit. And you must pray. Because for me, in that time of crisis, it was prayer that got me through whatever got me through it. Because I wasn't talking to nobody. I wasn't talking to anybody. But I was talking to God. That one for sure. I was doing that. Even if I wasn't opening my mouth, sometimes you won't hear me pray. But in my heart, I was communicating. Like, I don't want to make this mistake. I don't want to. So I would say, as a sister, you must be fired up for God. You must be praying. You must have this rapport, this relationship to God, with God. If not, you will not survive. Because things will just come and just crash you. You just crash you away. You must pray as a sister, as a young person in the ministry. You must find a mentor and talk to that mentor. Not just say, this is my mother in the Lord and this is my father in the Lord, just for show up. You must be doing what a mentee is doing. Be talking and be grabbing their counsel. Because the scripture says in Proverbs, it says, in a multitude of good counsel, there is safety. So the counsel will keep you safe. So that's my own take for these young ladies that are.
And the wives.
And the wife, for the wife, the good counsel, the only thing I can think about as a wife is, number one, is submission. I know we are talking about women empowerment, and in America, as a woman, you have everything. Yes, it's true, it's legit. That is the law. But at the same time, you find out that most women has scattered their home because of this issue of empowerment. Empowerment is good if you channel the energy in a right way. In a right way. So empowerment is great. I'm not against that. Go to school, be educated, get all those accolades and those degrees. But if you want to succeed as a wife, you must be submissive. You must listen. You must listen to your husband. That one is number one. Because they are the aircraft. But we women, we are the submarines. Because the Air Force protect American in the air. The submarine protect American in the sea. So while they are up there fighting for the nation, we are in the submarine protecting. So they are the leaders, but we women, we are the administrator. But what will make you function very well as a wife is submission and listening. Listen to instructions. So that's just the other thing I said there.
Thank you, Pastor Joy. You have given it to us hot this afternoon. Pastor Noel,
Thank you so much for having us today. I think we have
welcome.
so
We are
much,
going
so
to do
much.
it together, yes.
Just for the time. For the young single brothers, young men, if you love a lady and she is good, wait for her and fight for her. I mean, fight to get her, and understand that relationship is not just all about pleasure. It's a thing of destiny. So you must choose character rather than pleasure. Because pleasure is just for a moment. This is not only for the guys, but both the female
Ladies
and
too.
all ladies. Don't go for just the physical things that you can see. The guy's package, he has roseware, he has some good stuff. Those things are good, but look for destiny. Look for the future. Will those things be there in the future? And even if they are not there, how will the person look like? Because you're going to marry the person and not the
Not the
things.
material.
So get that, know that's very important. And for marriage people, no marriage will ever work if you don't work it out. So marriage is work, is serious work. You see? So like we are saying right now, you see that we have gone through tests, trials, challenging. But what kept us? Because either knowing it or unknowingly, we worked it out. That's why we were
Yeah.
here today. If we haven't worked it out, it will have not worked. So if you think you want to be in a relationship and you are not ready to work it out, it won't work. If you think you want to be married and you are not ready to work it out in marriage, it will collapse. It's all about relationship, marriage, all is work.
Thank you, Pastor Noel.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Pastor Joy. I think we have all heard a lot, and we are learning a lot from you guys. And this is not the end of it. We have started this conversation, and we are certainly going to bring it to an end. And for today, we are about to end, but again, we will sit down and complete what we started. And
Sure.
definitely, the advice you have given is so detrimental to everybody that it goes out to, including myself sitting here.
Yeah.
And we do appreciate you guys for being here, opening up yourself to be used to speak to us in all the different forms that you guys spoke to us. I know it's not easy to come on in front of cameras, in front of strangers, and just open yourself, especially about things that are so personal.
Yeah.
But it is through your experiences,
It's
like
worth it.
Pastor Joyce said,
Yes.
that other people
Will
learn,
learn.
that you are able to mentor somebody. Yesterday, one of the men that I do my other show with was saying that when he said he was speaking, and I'm quoting his words. He said, "I have been through so much, and I have been tried, I've been tested, and I know the bad, the good, and the ugly. So if I take up the pulpit and I say I'm a man of God, I'm not just going to speak by title. I'm going to speak because I
experience.
have that experience. I've been through it.
Yes.
So when I'm talking to someone, it is substantial.
Yes.
And that is exactly what you
we are
guys have
yes.
done for us. These are not empty words.
No.
These are not something you just read from a book and gave us. It is a food
Life experience.
that is filling us up, and we're going to continue to eat it to better ourselves. So thank you and so much, and God bless
You're
you guys.
welcome.
And we are expecting you. Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, happy Valentine's.
The way Pastor Joy has dressed.
I think
She's
I know.
I told you, you guys have to do photo
She's
shoot.
making my body do gri gri gri.
Ah, you heard your
My
husband.
body is doing me gri gri
Now,
gri.
Pastor Noah cannot wait to go and celebrate
I can't wait to.
Valentine's Day. Pastor Noah is tomorrow.
Thank you. I will start today. After the show, there will be a
You're
show.
going, okay, enjoy. Pastor Joy, you just start next time you come, eh? Please remember, this is We Need to Talk, the good loving. That is what we discussed today. And for those that are out there that don't have love, trust me, as you've heard this conversation, I'm sure a good loving will come your way. And those that are struggling, may God strengthen you to also work yours out to benefit from it. Please remember you can follow Owusua TV on Instagram and on Facebook at Owusua TV. If you watch us live from Facebook, please remember to go on YouTube, type in Owusua TV, OWUSUA. Again, it's OWUSUA. And please subscribe to the channel, share the link, and then have that time to go back and watch all old episodes. Please remember this show is also sponsored by O&O Signature. O&O Signature specializes in all things African made. We sell clothes, shoes, any type of accessories for kids, for old, for big, for small, all ages and all sizes. Contact O&O Signature at 469-769-2306. Again, it's 469-769-2306. You can also follow O&O Signature on Facebook and on Instagram at OO Signature. My name again is Abena Owusua. Thank you for spending this time with us. See you again next time.
Abedimpo, Kwame Kofi Kinata, move on baby, move. Honanana. Abedimpo, Kwame Kofi Kinata, move on baby, move. Honanana. Abedimpo, Kwame Kofi Kinata, move on baby, move. Honanana. Abedimpo, Kwame Kofi Kinata, move on baby, move. Honanana. Abedimpo, Kwame Kofi Kinata, move on baby, move. Honanana. Abedimpo, Kwame Kofi Kinata, move on baby, move. Honanana. Abedimpo, Kwame Kofi Kinata, move on baby, move. Honanana. Abedimpo, Kwame Kofi Kinata, move on baby, move. Honanana. Abedimpo, Kwame Kofi Kinata, move on baby, move. Honanana. Abedimpo, Kwame Kofi Kinata, move on baby, move. Honanana. Abedimpo, Kwame Kofi Kinata, move on baby, move. Honanana. Abedimpo, Kwame Kofi Kinata, move on baby, move. Honanana. Abedimpo, Kwame Kofi Kinata, move on baby, move. Honanana. Abedimpo, Kwame Kofi Kinata, move on baby, move. Honanana. Abedimpo, Kwame Kofi Kinata, move on baby, move. Honanana. Abedimpo, Kwame Kofi Kinata, move on baby, move. Honanana. Abedimpo, Kwame Kofi Kinata, move on baby, move. Honanana. Abedimpo, Kwame Kofi Kinata, move on baby, move. Honanana.